Love him or loathe him, you can't deny that the boy from Stevenage in England has become one of Formula One's all-time greats, with 67 wins and counting, 77 pole positions, 126 podiums, 39 fastest laps, millions in the bank account, celebrity status to rival Kanye West, and more babes hanging off him than I've had hot dinners. Oh, how I miss hot dinners. This is Lewis Hamilton's top 10 best drives. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification icon to keep up to date on everything MotoView. Number 10, Canada, 2007. Now 2007 was Lewis Hamilton's rookie season in Formula 1. Coming into round 6, Hamilton had 5 podiums, 4 second places and 1 third, and was equal with his teammate Fernando Alonso on 38 points. During qualifying, he took his first ever pole position ahead of Alonso by 0.4 of a second. In the race, Hamilton led from the start. Alonso challenged him into turn 1 but ran off track, and in doing so damaged his car. This resulted in running off the track again on lap 15 and falling even further behind Hamilton. On lap 22, Hamilton pitted just before the safety car was deployed for an incident involving Suttle, dropping him to third but quickly retook the lead following the safety car's return to the pits. A further safety car was brought out for a huge crash for Robert Kubica. The guy never seems to have a small crash. Hamilton held the lead and his nerve to take his first ever win and the championship lead by 8 points as Alonso could only get 7th. This started the hype that Hamilton could become champion in his rookie year. Number 9, China, 2011. This was the race that nearly never was. Going into round 3, Hamilton was yet to reach the podium but qualified third for the race. But on Sunday he had a fuel pressure problem with his car, which led to mass panic in McLaren pits. However, the team got him out just 35 seconds before the pit lane closed. He then went on to drive the race of his life. He, along with his teammate Jenson Button, jumped Vettel off the line and pulled an intelligent move on Button midway through the race for the lead. Vettel would use a 2-stop strategy to put him ahead of Hamilton on a 3-stopper. Hamilton set in fastest lap after fastest lap would close Vettel in and on fresher tyres, got the grip out of the turn 4 hairpin and went up the inside of Vettel into the fast turn 5 on lap 52 of 56 and held on to take the win. This would be a highlight of what would be a tough season for Hamilton. Number 8, Monaco, 2008. This season was one of the closest of all time. Going into round 6 at Monaco, Kimi Raikkonen had a 7-point lead over both his teammate Felipe Massa and Hamilton. On race day, the heavens opened and the rain fell. The race started in wet conditions and gave us a crash fest. Hamilton started third and heading into turn 1 at Saint-Devote, got ahead of Raikkonen. On lap 6 while chasing Massa, he hit the barrier at Tabac, which gave him a puncture. He returned to the pits and was fueled for a long stint and rejoined in 5th. This stint would prove pivotal because he closed the gap back to the leaders, and after Massa made a mistake at Saint-Devote, Hamilton retook the lead. He extended this lead as a dry line began to appear. He suffered a slow puncture on the last lap but held on to take the win by over 3 seconds over Robert Kubica and taking the championship lead from Raikkonen. Number 7, USA 2007. 1 week after his maiden win, Formula 1 stuck around in North America, but this time it was at the Brickyard. Indianapolis was the venue and it was the last visit to the circuit and gave us a taster of the fallout that would dominate the season between Alonso and Hamilton. Alonso had the pace all weekend, but Hamilton took pole and got a lightning start and sped off at the front, followed by Alonso and the 2 Ferraris. After their first pit stops, Alonso challenged Hamilton down the main straight and getting into Hamilton's slipstream, pulled alongside the Brit, but Hamilton held on to lead into turn 1, proving that he would not be a pushover in the team. Alonso never challenged again and Hamilton won by 1.5 seconds and extended his championship lead to 10 points over his teammate. Number 6, Bahrain, 2014. In 2014, Mercedes was miles ahead of everyone else at the start of the turbo hybrid era. Lewis Hamilton knew that his only real opponent to the title was his teammate Nico Rosberg. Off the line, Hamilton got ahead of pole sitter Rosberg into turn 1, but Rosberg didn't take this lying down, launching an attack into turn 1 on lap 18 with Hamilton retaking the lead out of the turn. Rosberg done the same again the next lap, but Hamilton this time got the run out of turn 3 to retake the lead for the second time. The safety car was deployed after Pastor Maldonado crashed into Esteban Gutierrez and flipping him. Both Mercedes drivers made pit stops. Hamilton put on the medium tyres while Rosberg put on the softs. With 10 laps to go, the field was unleashed and the Mercedes drivers, lapping at 2 seconds a lap quicker than the rest of the field, easily pulled away. They were both reminded by Paddy Lowe that both cars had to finish the race, but Rosberg on the softer and quicker tyres launched attack after attack on Hamilton into turn 1, with Hamilton retaking the lead on the exit of the corner and pushing Rosberg off the track at turn 3. This has to go down as one of the best battles of all time. Number 5, USA 2012. After a 5-year absence from America, Formula 1 returned to the country at the brand new Circuit of Americas in Texas. Sebastian Vettel took pole ahead of Hamilton and Webber. At the start, Webber jumped Hamilton off the line, but Hamilton got DRS on lap 4 to retake second along the back straight between turns 11 and 12. He then began hunting down Vettel. On lap 42, Vettel hit traffic through the first sector, which led Hamilton to close up within DRS range. Along the back straight, Hamilton got DRS and pulled out from behind Vettel to retake the lead into turn 12. He never looked back and took his 21st and last win for the McLaren team as he was moving to Mercedes the following year. Number 4, Germany 2018. Heading into Hockenheim, Lewis Hamilton was 8 points behind championship leader Sebastian Vettel and needed to stop Vettel's momentum. In qualifying, Hamilton's car suffered a hydraulic failure during Q1. This meant he would start from 14th with Vettel on pole. Hamilton started the race on the softs and extended his tyre life to lap 42, pegging Raikkonen on the new softs in front of him to just over 5 seconds. After Hamilton's pit stop, he was setting blistering lap times on the ultra softs as the rain began to fall. He wouldn't believe his luck as Vettel, the race leader, went off the track at Sachs Curve on lap 53, bringing out the safety car. Bottas and Raikkonen pitted for fresh ultra softs, leaving Hamilton in the lead. After the safety car restart, Bottas hounded Hamilton for the lead until the Mercedes team stepped in and told Bottas to hold position. Hamilton went on to win and retake the championship lead by 17 points and winning from his lowest ever grid position. Number 3, Brazil 2008. Lewis Hamilton lost the championship by 1 point at Interlagos 1 year earlier and wasn't wanted to repeat that in 2008. Championship rival Felipe Massa set pole in front of his Brazilian home fans. For Massa to win the championship, he had to win the race and Hamilton had to finish lower than 5th. Massa led from the start while Hamilton was doing all he needed to win the championship until light rain began to fall on lap 52. Eventually the rain became heavy enough for all top drivers to pit for intermediate tyres, including Massa and Hamilton. However, Timo Glock in the Toyota was fueled to the end and stayed out on the dry tyres. Hamilton appeared to be struggling and dropped back to 6th as the final lap started. The rain began to fall a little heavier and Glock started to struggle. Massa crossed the line to win the championship in front of his adoring home fans, or so everyone thought. On the last corner, Hamilton had caught the struggling Glock and passed him for 5th, and by doing so winning the championship by 1 point and breaking the hearts of thousands of Brazilian fans. Number 2, Japan 2007. For 20 years, Suzuka had held the Japanese Grand Prix, but for 2007 it was held at Fuji, and this was the first time since 1977 that the track had hosted the Formula 1 race. Going into the race, Hamilton held a 2-point lead over his teammate Alonso in the championship, with Raikkonen 13 points further back. Hamilton started from pole for the 5th time in 2007, but on race day the circuit was drenched in rain. The race took place behind the safety car for the first 19 laps until it was deemed safe enough to start. Where everyone else spun off and caused multiple safety cars, Hamilton kept his cool in the torrential conditions to pick up his 4th win of the year and extend his championship lead to 12 points over Alonso, who aquaplaned off the track and crashed, and 17 over Raikkonen, who was still within a mathematical chance of the championship with 2 races to go. And number 1, Britain 2008. Hamilton could only qualify 4th while his teammate Heikki Kovalainen took his only pole. The race start was wet and Hamilton quickly made it to the front of the race before Heikki Kovalainen brushed wheels with Hamilton and retook the lead. Hamilton sat behind his teammate for a few laps, but on lap 5 he passed his teammate into stow and easily pulled away. After the first round of pit stops, the rain returned and eradicated any drying line that started to appear. Lots of cars spun off the track, but Hamilton seemed at ease with the rain falling, only slightly running off the track at Abbey. After Hamilton's second stop on lap 38, his lead over second place Heidfeld was at 36 seconds. As all the other drivers continued to struggle, Hamilton was finding grip and speed that only others could dream of. At the end, Hamilton won the race by 1 minute 8 seconds over Heidfeld and lapped everyone apart from 2nd and 3rd. This still stands as his greatest showing of superiority in a race car. Did you agree with the list? What races would you have had on this video? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up to help the channel and check out other MotoView content. If you want to be part of a Formula 1 community where you can interact with fans like yourself and have discussions about Formula 1, then head over to our friends at Formula 1 Fans Facebook page and become part of the group.